Hello everyone, welcome to my review of the Top-Down Planner. This is the second video in my Top-Down Planning series. If you are unfamiliar with that term or what that means, I will link my original video below where I talk about the difference between top-down versus bottom-up planning. But of course, you can't really start your Top-Down Planner reviews without reviewing the actual Top-Down Planner. This was created by Rebecca Rascati, and she is a single mother of 3 children. She has 4 companies and 5 products. She's appeared on Shark Tank 3 times. Her original appearance was in 2010. Her first product that she created was City Kitty, which is a cat toilet training method. And then she came out with Hoodie Pillows, then 3 Purpose, which are children's charts. Her 4th creation is this Top-Down Planner right here, and then her newest one is Blanky Tales. She has been in business since 2005 for herself, and so she's been doing this now for 10 years. She is very successful, and just to be clear, Rebecca did not invent top-down planning. That type of method has been around for decades now, but she did create the top-down planner. So just to clarify the difference there. What happened with Rebecca is that she became very frustrated with the planners that were out there on the market, right? We can all relate to that. And she wanted something that you could put down your values. There needed to be some goal setting and time management all in one planner. So to briefly describe top-down, you have the big picture, you prioritize, and then you focus. Now, fortunately for Rebecca, she had resources where she could actually create her own planner. So the top-down planners you see here debuted in 2014 with a run of about 200. It had 1 cover. It was based on the Pareto principle, which is the 80-20 rule, which is 80% of your results are going to come about by 20% of your efforts. So the original one had a black cover. It came up to here, which is actually 80%, which I love because I'm so visual. And then the extra 20%, or the rest of the 20%, was white. I love that cover. It just made so much sense to me. It did not have a monthly though. In the version 2, which you see here in front of you, there were more cover choices, 5 to be specific. Of course, this blue one right here, there's an abstract, bold zigzag, earth and energy, and serene sunrise. I don't understand why the Pareto principle cover was not included this year, but that is really unfortunate. I am still kicking myself for not buying that planner. I knew about this planner last year and I just thought about it and sat on it too long. But I still regret not buying that cover planner with the planner with that cover on it. There is a monthly in this version, and this was printed with thousands of copies. Version 3 will be coming out in the very near future. It's launching in about November, December timeframe for the 2016. That will include a bookmark, a folder in the back to hold papers, and it will be hardbound. It will also be dated. This one right here is undated. And most importantly, there's going to be a 3-part video series where Rebecca is going to educate us on getting things done and how to be protective. Now, she says that there is nothing out there like this on the market. I 100% agree with that. There are other time management type things out there in the business world, but in the planner world, there is not. There is a planner. They call it a planner series with Reset Girl and I think about 5 of her friends. It's not really a planning series. It's a decorating series. It's dashboards and how to decorate. That is totally fine if that's your thing, but I don't need help in that area. I am really, really excited for Rebecca's series. Unfortunately, I believe it's going to be out on DVD, and for me, DVDs are kind of an obsolete technology. I really feel like that it needed to be some kind of download that we can all just look at it right on our computers. I don't know about you guys, but I think all of my computers, even our personal ones and even all my kids, we don't have drives in our computers anymore. So that is going to be an issue on how I'm going to be watching those. I am going to try and make it work because I do want that really badly. And I will say that I think that alone right there is worth the $50 price tag. So yes, this planner is $50. I bought mine for $49.95 on Amazon. This particular cover, when I bought mine, this was the only one that had free shipping, which was great because this is the cover that I preferred. All the other covers at the time were $5.95 shipping. Since then, Amazon has taken all those away. So all the covers on Amazon now are all free shipping with that $49.95 price tag. On Rebecca's website, they are the $50, and I believe it's the $5.95 shipping as well. So I saved $6 going on Amazon. She also has briefly some information out there. She has a blog, she's on Facebook, and of course she has her website. There really isn't a ton of information out there on the top-down planner, which I think is unfortunate. I did not find any other videos out there with the exception of Miss Vicki B's interview and her planner review on this, which, to be honest, I've watched that interview about 4 times now. It is really fantastic. In that interview, Rebecca says that she spent about 1,000 hours doing research for this planner, which I love. I am all over that. You guys know how much I'd love to do my research. I love when people have products out there that are very well thought out, which this definitely is. This includes research-based pages, ones that are going to be most effective. Rebecca has a background in graphic design, so it is kind of a visual-based planner, not so much as, you know, the pretty ones that are out there that are great, but it is full of success tools. And really what this does is streamline the process of what your values are, who you are as a person, setting your goals, and then how to put it in your schedule and to get it done. So it really streamlines that process. It's really great. So let's get started with the actual review on this planner. So as you can see, it's got a paper type cover on it. It's a thicker type cardstock. And right off the bat, I don't know if you can see this, but look at all the fingerprints that are on this. Now, I wash my hands like 27 times a day. This has nothing to do with the fact that I have dirty hands. This cover right here reminds me of a stainless steel refrigerator, right? You get this beautiful refrigerator and it lasts about 2 seconds until you actually start using it, and then there's fingerprints all over the place. It's the same thing with this cover. I don't know what it is. It has a smooth cover. It doesn't have a texture on it, but it shows fingerprints like nothing else I've ever seen. So that is a problem for me. I do not like that. Also, if you can see right here on the corners, I have not even started really using this planner. I have just been kind of just looking at it for the past few weeks since I've had it, and already the corners are starting, the color is coming off and the white is showing, they're kind of fraying. So I don't like that. I'm hoping that the covers improve. Then, because a lot of you will be interested in this, the binding on here is what is called pure lay flat binding technology. So let me break it down for what that means. What that means is that it's just glued on the very outsides. It's supposed to have been used, or they use the strongest hot melt adhesive out there on the market. And what happens, which I will unfortunately be able to show you in just a moment, and you'll see why, but it has a gauze type paper that lies over the spine. And the thinking on this is that this kind of floats, and so the lay flat is supposed to lay flat, and as you can see, it doesn't really lay flat. Now this, to be fair, any type of book-bound planner like this is not going to lay completely flat. That is a problem in general with these planners, but it does not lay flat. Like I mentioned, I've had this for a few weeks now, and I have really, really worked on these pages, and they're still not lying completely flat, but they are better than some other ones out there. So this is why I'm unfortunately saying why I can show you, because this is not, I don't know what kind of adhesive this is, but my planner cover has already fallen off. And you guys, I have not even used this planner. I have not even thrown this in and out of a bag, and already my cover has come unglued right here. So let me show you now, and like I said, I can show you the binding now. So here's that gauze type of paper that they put over the signatures on the binding. And like I said, that is the method and the thinking behind it, but obviously this is a huge fat fail for the cover and the binding. No good. However, don't lose hope, because the inside of the planner is fantastic. So here is a cover with a quote from Rebecca on it, and then I have a flaw right here because I got these 2 pages repeated. I'm sure it's only supposed to be 1. So there is just about her, Rebecca, and then here's a note page. So the planner is divided into 3 different sections. There is a goal planning section, and then of course you've got your monthly and your weekly planning section, and at the very back is the toolkit. So let me show you these. So there are the dividers right there. So that's really nice. And I do like that it's cardstock, so that's really, really good. Then on the back of each section divider will be a quote, which you guys know how much I love my quotes, so I'm all over that. And I don't know about you, I read every single thing that a book or a planner has in it. I read every single thing because I love to know the background of the thinking behind that product. So I read every single word. So Rebecca here describes the thinking behind the top-down planner. So it's who are you, who do you want to be, what are your values and goals, and then when are you going to accomplish that. Then here is the first actual page of that where it just has some adjectives where you circle and describe yourself. This right here, you probably recognize that share icon. So this is a social media thing, so you can either share things on social media or just with your friends and family in person. And statistically speaking, when you share something, you are more likely to be successful and accomplish that. And then this, in my opinion, is by far the best and most effective page in the entire planner. We've all seen goal planning pages, right? I love this. I'm such a visual person. I love that it starts off a little bit small and then expands and gets bigger. I just love that for, future expanding your vision. So I'm all over it. So 1, 3, and 10 years, and then your lifetime. I also like that she kind of gives you a brief synopsis on how to use this page and why, as well as her other planning pages. And then this one is especially great because it says on here, this is only supposed to take you 15 minutes. Sometimes I think we overthink things, at least I do, and it takes us a lot longer than it really should. So 15 minutes on this is all. Then after that, you circle the 3 most important ones for you, and then out of those 3, then you pick the one that jumps out at you or the one that you want to work on first. And then you flip to goal planning pages. These pages are also fantastic. You get 5 2-page spreads of this. So why do you want to do this goal? How are you going to feel? What are you going to do? And when are you going to allot the time for that? This is probably my second favorite page in there as far as the goal planning and those kind of helpful pages. This right here is a slightly unnecessary to me. I feel like the majority of the goal planning is really over here, but there are some lines and checklists here if you like that. So here are the 5 different pages, and then on the very back you have a note page, which you will get on the back of each section. So here's the monthly and the weekly planning section. I also like on each one of these dividers, she has the table of contents on there so you know exactly what it is. Again, here's a quote. Another introduction page. So she explains here what top-down is, which I explained in my video as well. And so the top-down is really you're looking at the big picture, and then you're focusing, and then you're doing your task each day with bottom-up. She doesn't call it that, but that's what it is, bottom-up planning. And she just says that it's just schedule and that it's unprioritized and there's no goals. I do disagree with that. I feel like, which is what I explained, top down, you can have focus and you can have detail in that. With bottom up, I absolutely believe that people that do bottom up planning, which I do both, can have goals and they are trying to accomplish things. So it's a different way of thinking. You just have to kind of take a step back and think of where Rebecca's coming from. She is a very successful business owner. So that, of course, with CEO level, which I talked about, that's how she's going to think. So my personal feeling is that both can be successful. There's some overlap between both, and it really doesn't matter what you do, but her focus is going to be the top down. Then here is the monthly and the weekly planning. So you set a goal, forecast success is what she calls it. Set your goals up here, your to-dos, you have a challenge for yourself, and then you do your actual schedule, both for the monthly and the weekly. Then you go to the yearly overview page. I have to say, this page drives me crazy. I don't understand it. I really don't. Because this is the 2015 version, I firmly believe that the 2015 year at a glance should be an entire page, and then maybe have these smaller years that are in the future. I don't know about you, but I have never looked at a page or a date in 3 years in the future. If I did need to possibly ever do that, I would look on my phone. I think this is wasted space in my opinion. I just really, you guys know how much I love the year at a glance. I track my monthly goals with the year at a glance. So of course, I want this, as well as I think we need to focus on the year at hand. So maybe 2015 here and 2016 here is what I would have done. But again, this is Rebecca's planner, so that's all good. 12-month snapshot. This is a planning page, as you can see, with checklists because it has 12 boxes. Of course, that's going to be one for each month. She says up here to do 1 month at a time, up to 3, but really no more than that. This page is a little bit redundant to me, and I'll show you why, because she has this fantastic monthly planning page. This is an undated planner, so you're going to have to circle or highlight the month. But I do love that she has the goals here. You get 5 columns. This is why I feel like this page is, I don't know how I would use both. I think that's why it's a little redundant, in my opinion. So here's another share icon, what your goal is, how you're going to reward yourself, how you can improve and focus on. And then this is going to be my favorite part of this entire page, which, as you can see, is a fact, monthly motivator, and quote of the month. You know I'm all over that. I love inspiration and I love quotes. And I also love that each month these change. So every month is going to be a little bit different for the quotes. So I love that. Here is your monthly calendar. Again, with the undated, you're going to have to fill it in and circle it, etc. This is going to be your appointments and things like that. This I have never seen before, and personally, I don't like it in the monthly calendar. I don't know why the Saturday and Sunday are combined. That doesn't make sense to me, and visually, I don't like it. I do love that she has the outlines in bold. I love, love, love that. I think it's probably a dark blue or a black, and then she's got the lighter blue lines here. So visually, except for the Saturday and Sunday, I really, really like it. And the boxes are big enough that you can actually write things in there, right? Because the monthly calendar, sometimes you've got like 4 or 5 things in one day that with appointments going on. So I do like the big spaces there. Then you have weekly planning pages. So how she has this set up is you've got your monthly planning page, then your monthly calendar. That's going to be followed by 5 weekly planning pages, and that repeats throughout this section. Because this is undated, what's going to end up is that you're going to have your 12 months, those 2 pages for each month, and then if you multiply 5 times 12, that means you're going to end up with 60 weekly pages, which obviously there are only 52 weeks. So I understand why they had to do that, and I'm certainly glad they picked 4 weeks over 5, because I've seen planners pick 4, which that's super annoying as well. But just realize that you're going to have some extra weekly pages. I don't foresee how you can use those, maybe just random lists or something, but you are going to have some extra weekly planning pages. So Rebecca calls these silos. So how you can use this is either specific and actual goals, or you can use these for different categories in your life. I feel like a lot of us have the same categories, and then we're going to have a few that are personalized and individualized for our situations, but we're all going to have a personal section. I'll have a home section. I'll have family. Even if you don't have children, you're going to have, extended family and friends. So those kinds of ones are general categories, and then you'll have your own work ones or something like that. So pick your goals, your categories, and then you figure out what you want to do each week for those, and then you take that information and you move it down to your daily schedule. I do like here that she has the times highlighted in that light blue color that she uses, and I also like that she chose 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. I feel like those are in general, the most productive hours and the average hours that people are awake. Yes, there are people who do work nights and swing shift and things like that, but I like this timeline. I really don't like when planners just put like 8 to 5, because we all have, when we go, when we go to a job, we have stuff to do before that and we have a ton of stuff to do after that. So I like when planners include those extra hours in there. And then we'll go to the last section. And again, I like that she has the contents, 20 note pages, 10 graph pages, 10 blank pages. And I'll show you all the rest of them. But again, another quote. I love this. She talks about the power of pen and paper, which, you know, since we're planner nerds, we all love that. So I appreciate her putting that in there. The vision board here, we've all seen vision boards or done them, and why they're effective. But she gives a brief synopsis up here. So here's your vision board, 2-page spread. Then here's a mind map, and she does have an example on this one, and again, the directions and why you would want to do this. Her tip is to use a pencil if you're not fully committed, but she does give you 5 blank mind maps. So I don't know why you'd want to use a pencil, but you definitely could. So here's the mind maps, and then there's meeting notes section. Now clearly, because Rebecca is who she is, she's going to be career driven and business focused. So I do feel like this planner does lean toward that direction. When I was working in an office setting, I don't know if I would have used these notes, as well as I don't feel like there's enough, especially because this is a yearly planner. But it's a great idea, and I do like the page. She talks here on how to have an effective meeting. She says 5 minutes. I've never been in a 5-minute meeting, but you know, kudos to those of you who can. So how I would want to use these notes. You guys know that I have a weekly budget meeting with my husband, and I do have notes that we need to talk about each week, but I don't have a ton. So how I would use this is as a monthly budget meeting, and I would just have a running list of to-dos and notes and things like that. However, there are only 11 meeting note pages in here, which drives my logical left brain crazy. It's an odd number, as well as it's not even enough for a full year. There needs to be 12 pages, in my opinion, for the meeting notes section. But it is what it is. So here is the bucket list. I love that she has each page separated into 2. If it was all one line across like this, I would not have liked that. So good job. I love this, the way she has this set up. And gratitude log, again, with the gratitude and the bucket list, there's science behind why those are effective. So they're not technically or maybe not considered planning, but there is a reason why these are included, because they are a success tool. Gratitude is kind of the same way, except it's not a checklist. I like, again, that it has the pages divided into 2. You get 2-page spreads for the gratitude, so 4 pages. And then you have the lined pages. I do like, and again, this is just kind of the way I am. I love that the gratitude lines and the line pages match up. I also like, of course, that they're the same size and that it's smaller. I do have smaller handwriting. If you have larger handwriting, I would just say use 2 lines. But I do like the size on this. Again, there's 20 blank pages. Then you go to the graph pages. I don't know what size this is. I did not measure it yet, but I'm going to say it's about a 5x5 grid, possibly. Maybe even a little bit smaller than that. I do like it. I prefer the 8x8 grid, but this is definitely small enough even for me to use. And then you've got your blank pages. Then the very back is another little quote here, and then this is people to share. Here's the share icon, to share your goals with. I'm sure this is also a marketing tool for her to share the top-down planner as well. And then the very last page is when you order the planner, you get a free download with all those pages I just showed you in the toolkit. You get all those for free. I did use my download. I already have them all downloaded, but I will say I love these pages in the bound format. I think one of the reasons that in the past, you know, we've all seen mind maps and gratitude lists and, you know, the vision boards. Why they haven't worked for me in the past is because they're loose pages. They get all bent up. They get super annoying. Like, you know, that's not pleasing to look at. So I love them in this format. I don't foresee that I'm going to download extras necessarily. You guys know I have a 7-ring Franklin Covey. I don't even know if I prefer it in that. This is really my preference, is to have these types of pages in an actual planner, how they're supposed to be. So there you go. There is the planner. This is made in the United States, if that's important to you. This planner measures 6 inches across by 9 inches, so it's very, very portable. I feel like it's just right in there. I like to be right in the middle, even Steven. It's not too big, it's not too small, you know, just like Goldilocks. It's just right. I would say it's an inch, maybe just a tad bigger than, wider or thicker than an inch, and it has 240 pages. The paper in here is really, really great. I don't have an Inkwell press, but from all the research I've done, I feel like it's equivalent to an Inkwell press type paper. Definitely as far as the printer quality type paper goes, it is right up there with the best of them. Because of that, and same thing with the Inkwell press, it's got some heft to it. So it is going to add a little bit of weight. It's not too heavy in my opinion, but you just need to know that it is going to add some weight to your purse or your bag. There is a rumor that there's going to be an unbound version coming out. I hope that if they do the unbound, that it will also be unpunched, because some of us have 6-ring planners, others of us have 7-ring planners. So that's my suggestion. Like I mentioned, this is an undated, so with that you can jump in and out of it as needed, which I really like. The 2016 version will be dated, but overall it's a really, really fantastic planner. I would highly recommend it. I know people are going to ask how or if I'm going to use that, and the answer is definitely yes. For me, this is going to be more of like a workbook type planner. I'm definitely going to be using all of the planning pages, the goal planning ones in the front, the monthly planning, I 100% love that, and as well as all these ones in the back. Yes, definitely. Where I'm going to struggle, which you probably can all figure out, is going to be this weekly page. I love the weekly page. However, I am also a bottom-up type planner girl where I need so much detail. So 1 line for each hour of each day, not enough. I foresee that I am going to have sticky notes all over this weekly page. That's just how I work. Rebecca also talked about in her interview with Miss Vicki B, which I will link that below as well. She talked about the pretty planning versus actual planning. Like I said, I feel like you can be successful with either one. You have to think about where Rebecca is. She runs a lot of companies. She's got a lot going on. She has a lot of balls that she's juggling. She does not have time to sit down and stress about her washi color combination of the week. That is not her thing. So it's okay. She just thinks differently and has a different life. You guys know that I do love stickers and washi. I don't see that there is any room here, maybe on the monthly for some washi, but definitely for me, at least not on the weekly. So how I am going to use this is stickers. You know that my favorite stickers, I've shown these before, I'm going to show them again because I love them so much, are these Snap Calendar Basic Planning stickers. Here's how they look like on the back. You get 8 pages. Each page is completely different, but I love the size on these. I love the colors. I love the simple icons. So Rebecca, if you're watching, if you ever want some pretty planning or start it, this is my suggestion on where to start with that. We really just all need to get over the fact that it doesn't matter. Who cares? Who cares how you do your page as long as it's working for you? I personally feel like I'm right in the middle. I, in my heart, am really a planner instead of a decorator. But I am such a visual person that I have to have some kind of color. When I have a page that's all one color of ink, that is just, nothing stands out to me, nothing jumps out at me if something's more important than something else. So that's really why I use something like this, because it gives me a spot of color. It jumps out at me and it's pleasing. I like to look at it visually. So that is how I do it. It honestly, like I said, does not even matter. I also believe that when I use the weekly pages here, each one of these, what Rebecca calls the silos or the columns, I would use a different color for each one and then I would transfer that down and continue that pattern down into the daily sections. So that's another thing how I would use it visually. So it's pretty, but it's still functional. That's my thing, is it's got to be functional first. It's also got to be some visual to me. But overall, I will have to say that I think Rebecca is spot on. We just have to make sure that we're getting stuff done. I agree with her 100%. I feel like Rebecca is my people. I love her. I think she's right up there, especially for me at least, with Arianna Huffington, who wrote Thrive, Gretchen Rubin, who wrote The Happiness Project. I love people who do their research and have scientific facts to back up why we should do something, why something is going to help you, and why it's good for you, and why I should incorporate that into my life. I really gravitate towards those kind of people. Rebecca is smart, honest, fun, passionate, goal-driven. I feel like she is someone that I could hang out with. I strive to be that kind of person, and so those are the kind of people that I want in my corner as well. So I really, really do like Rebecca. I love working with people and supporting people after I find out what is their attitude and the reasons behind why they do things. You guys know I do research on every single product and company practically out there that I own, because I really like to connect with people like that. So I do really connect with Rebecca. So this top-down planner right here is a fantastic planner. You just have to know it is a top-down planner. It's going to be focused on goals. Absolutely, I do 100% think that you can put some pretty planning in here. I think it's very conducive to that. I just showed you how I'm going to use mine and using my pens and my stickers. Absolutely, 100%. I am looking forward to seeing the changes that Top Down Planner has for not only 2016, but also in the years to come. Because obviously Rebecca has made changes from year to year, and I like to see that as well in a company. So that is how I think of what I think of the Top Down Planner and how it's going to work for me. I hope this has been helpful for you. Again, there's not a lot of information out there, but that is my honest to goodness opinion of what I think about it. So thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon.